Hello everyone, hope everyone is doing well. So we are continuing with the series of public administration where we are covering those areas of public administration which UPSC is asking or most likely to ask questions from those areas, and we have also found many aspirants have a lack of clarity on those areas. Okay, so in the last session we had covered Waldo, where Waldo's views were discussed, and also we connected Waldo with lateral entry and the future organization, which can also be helpful in paper 2. Today we'll discuss Peter Drucker, but before we discuss, let's dwell into those aspects as to why we are covering all these thinkers, or all these areas of public administration. Okay, so see, if we look at the past year's paper, let's say for the paper of CSE 2023 mains of PubAd, okay, public administration. So see question 4a. See question 4. Okay, so A, B, and C. So three sub questions are there in every question. So first question was Reddit model. Okay, Reddit model they asked, and you have to connect it with Ohio studies and Blake and Moulton. Okay, so and see, this Reddit model many people are not aware of. Okay, but this is more doable. But see the traps set by UPSC in this. Okay, but see question B and C. Question B was two-factor theory. Okay, and question C was subordinate legislation. Subordinate legislation or delegated legislation. Now these two questions are very simple, and this question has been asked by UPSC n number of times already. So 15 marks and 15 marks. So you can maximize out here. Very doable questions, these two. But the problem lies here. Reddit model, many people did not know what is Reddit model. But if you know all this, then you can maximize this question. Total 50 marks you can maximize here. And no other choices of the in that year's paper were as simple as these two questions. So here problem lies here. This UPSC has been playing tricks and setting up traps. But see, if you know this question, some people, yes, of course, must be knowing. But if you know and attempt this question, then see, you can maximize here. Okay, and see, similarly, the recent past year paper also you see, I guess it was question 4 or 3, recent past year, A, B, C. Here also there was simple question, and here they put Bennis, Warren Bennis, views on future organization. Something question was like this. See, this again, this trap has been set. This simple, and this out of the box. Not out of the box. Bennis, etc., are already considered prominent thinkers in organizational theory and etc. So yes, but people lack so much of a content to write for 15 marks or 20 marks. So this way, yes, today, so that's why you should cover all these areas also. So you can maximize this all and make an optimal, rational choice for making selections of the question to write in the exam. Okay, and yes, even if they ask, if they ask in compulsory questions, question 1 or question 5, then what you will do? You have to write this. These are compulsory questions in UPSC. Okay, so because of this, all these things, we are covering all these areas. See, even if the question doesn't come directly, it will be helpful to enrich your answers. Like you can refer those views, those thinkers' views in answers as well. See, Waldo, you can refer to last session we discussed Waldo. You can connect with lateral entry. You can also connect with the future organization, how the future organizations will be. Very important thinker. This on Waldo, a lot of questions have already come in the past in the UPSC, and they will keep coming. So today we'll discuss Peter Drucker. So Peter Drucker, okay. So Peter Drucker already some past few years questions are have already been asked on Peter Drucker. Okay, so like the management by objectives of Peter Drucker has already been asked, and his famous statement, what managers do things right, and leaders do the right things. So this has already been asked many times. This question is favorite of UPSC. Every other year they keep on asking. You check past year's questions. Management by objectives also once or twice they have asked. Also you can refer management. It's also useful in that chapter 11. That is techniques in administration. That also you can use there also. The new upcoming techniques to improve efficiency or productivity in organization. You can also refer management by objectives there. Okay. So this is see, Peter Drucker question is long pending. It will come again today or tomorrow. It's going to come. So it's better be prepared so we are able to make the optimal rational choice while choosing the making the question choice. See this, if they do here again Peter Drucker, they are simple scientific management here and classical theory here, then this will, then you have to maximize here also. Okay, so let's discuss Peter Drucker. Okay, see Peter Drucker, largely we will Peter Drucker. So we'll frame the entire session in such a way. Firstly, we'll discuss some brief background of Peter Drucker. Background in the sense what were his contributions, etc. Then background in the sense like we'll discuss what is importance publication, what work he has done, that way. Next we'll discuss his contributions. Yes, contributions for to public administration or management, because I'm using management because of the first principle. First contribution, he talks about generic management. He talks about generic management. Yes, so he first talks about generic management. Just a moment, I'm not used to this. Okay. Generic management. Second, he identifies the problems in administration or problems in government. Third, he talks about restructuring of the government. That is, he provides solutions to the problems in government. So here in problems in government, he identifies 6 sins which are the reason for non-performance in public organization. The 6 sins are important. You can refer where the government functioning is refer in what are the problems in government. Here, yes, these 6 sins we'll discuss. Next he talks about restructuring of government, that is provide solution. Fourthly, he talks about management by objectives. Then he gives the another concept of knowledge based organization, that is what will be the future organization. He says this will be knowledge based organizations. Okay. So so here he will sum up his entire contributions, where he gives 7 principles which the CEO should follow. Okay, and and so in the end we'll discuss his criticisms of his works, and yes, lastly we'll discuss its relevance in today's time. So relevance can be in terms of theory and practice. Is relevance, practice, or theory, that is discipline. So discipline of PubAd. So here we'll discuss all this. So we will structure the today's session in all these various dimensions. So let's discuss the first aspect, that is the background of Peter Drucker. Okay. So background. So what are his contributions? See, Peter Drucker, background or his major works or anything. So Peter Drucker, see, he's considered as the founder of modern management. He's considered the founder of modern management. Yes, founder of modern management, and not scientific management. Okay, scientific management you can consider classical management or classical thinkers. So scientific management was by Taylor. So modern management, he is considered as a founder. Peter Drucker is considered as a founder of modern management. Okay. So also he he adopted a humanist approach. Adopted a humanist approach to management, where he considers people are the important and the most important contributors to an organization. He also rates it the important contribution to the society. So he adopts a humanistic approach. See, its views are here: people and society, organization. You should be able to recall MP Follett. MP Follett also talks about similar things, that human being is a gregarious nature. He wants to be gregarious nature. He wants to get associated, and the organization and the society are interlinked. So that way, it's more similar to MP Follett. And yes, similarities will exist because Peter Drucker considers MP Follett as his guru. He considers MP Follett as a prophet of management and his guru. Okay. So that's why he also adopted humanistic approach to towards management or administration. Uses it interchangeably. We'll discuss in generic management as to why he uses it interchangeably. Okay. So yes, these were his brief background. So now let's talk about his works. What all he has done in the field of management or public administration. See, he wrote many articles on management in various publications like The Economist or Harvard Business Review. He also worked for many governments, so be it the US government, the Canadian government, even the Japanese government. So Japanese government also. So he had a wide experience also. So okay, so and also for private organizations also he worked. Private organizations like Coca-Cola, IBM, Intel. He worked for a variety of organizations. So he was also a practitioner of public administration. See, he worked both for private organization as well as government organization. So here not only Western organization but also Japanese government also. So he was highly impressed by the Japanese practices of management. So after working all this, he also published important books and papers. See his important publications. So important publications, he published important books. Publications include effective management, then management in future, then thirdly that one more was management challenges in the 21st century. Of 21st century. See, this all publications are major publications. This you can also refer in introduction. It will enrich your answer. Okay. So this I will act as an enrichment. Hope you know that triangle of how you should study. See, okay, I'll tell you in brief. See, this is how your preparation is structured. Okay. This is foundation, answer writing, and enrichment. So this will help. Also, Peter Drucker, you may refer to answers also. This will act as an enrichment. So it will boost your marks also. Okay. So basically, these were his important publications. Peter Drucker, effective management, management in future, and management challenges of the 21st century. So this basically this is the background of Peter Drucker. So let's start with his contributions. What he talks about. First, he talks about generic management. Okay. So first, generic management. Now focus properly. Generic management. What do you mean by generic management? You should able to relate with classical thinkers. Generic management, here he says that management is generic. Management is generic. That is, management is applicable to all organizations. So all organizations, management is applicable, be it various private organizations. Some principles of management will always be common. Various private organizations, different public organizations, and even if any type of organizations for that matter, be it public, private, or even NGOs, all these organizations will have management principles, management which will be generic, will be common to all. So he is in a way talks about what classical thinkers have been talking about. That is generic management, generic principles. Generic principles, all these classical thinkers were talking about, be it Fayol, Gullik or Urvik. This. So he also talks about generic management. So he says management is generic. So be it any type of organization, this will be applicable to all. Interestingly, he further says, he further outlines the term management, where it came from. Can you guess where the term management came from? Yes, he says this term management came from government itself. It was not first used in public sector or business sector. This was first used in the government sector only. Government sector. So he gives a reference of the city administration in US, where they have appointed city managers. So from here, the term management has been used. The city administration, city manager system was formulated in US for city administration. So from there, the word managers and management have been derived. It was also used in US Army 1901. Okay, this city's manager concept. So the term management has its origin in public organizations. Okay, so how then it came to be associated with, so how it came to be associated with public administration then, and how it came to be associated public administration, how it came to be associated with business or private organization. So he says that during the Great Depression, Great Depression happened in USA. So everyone was blaming the business sector for that failure, and people have developed an angst, were angry on business sector. So not to be painted with the same brush, that this management, business, etc. So the public administration, the management in government organization, management which was referred in government organization, re-christened themselves as public administration. Okay, see what is this is how he says that the manager concept was first present in the government sector, the city administration, city manager concept, which was used in US. Then the Great Depression happened in USA. People were angry against the business sector, private sector for the economic hardship. So to avoid the anger of the people, the government organization, the management in government organization re-christened themselves as public administration. Okay, so this is how he talks about generic management. Further, with respect to generic management, he says, like we discussed, that all aspects are same for all management aspects are same. Aspects are same for public and private organization or NGOs, etc. Only little bit difference is there. He says that 90% of the organization, every organization, 90% of every organization is the same. Only difference is 90% of the organization is same. The only difference lies in the 10%. 10% of the organization is different. So he says the difference is of the 10%, and difference is in this what is the mission, strategy, structure, history, and vocabulary. This is what he talks about the generic management, that 90% of the every organization is same, and difference lies only in the rest 10%. Okay, so this 10%, he says, just only this major management principles have to adjust or get adjust here, adjust the, you have to just manipulate this 10%, rest everything will be same. Okay, so this 10% is same. See, even if you look organizations over the world, they have exist similarities. He gives the reference of UK, where UK's government is also similar to the Russian government, which is monopolistic ministry base. It is more or less similar in terms of management. There is generic principles which generic management will be applicable to even those organizations as well. Okay, and see, even if you analyze the Indian administration as well, you can find similarities everywhere. Indian administration, see, Indian administration of private sector in India. See, even in Indian administration performs generic management. Postcorp is performed by, yes, even this organization, Indian government will also perform Government of India post-corp function, even in private organization, post-corp, Gullikya Nurve, also POCC. This is also performed by this both organization, private and government also in India as well. But difference lies, certain difference, like he says this difference is 10% difference. See, Government of India or other government organization, ministries in India, see, he says difference in the vocabulary. So ministries are called Mantralaya, I guess. Mantralaya. In USA, ministries are called as Bureau. Okay. And also historically it also differs because portfolio system was adopted, yes, Government of India Act or Charter Act of 1861. We are still continuing this. So history, colonial legacy is there. Hierarchical administration, Weberian model was also a colonial legacy. So history, this 10% differs, but majority is same. This is what he talks about, generic management. This is generic management. Okay, and let's so further he talks about, further he says with respect to generic management, see now this generic management principles are more applied in the government sector also today, and they are needed also in government sector today. Government sector, as see today, first he talks about that today government is performing number of functions. Government is performing number of functions. Now see, previously government was performing what? Only law and order or welfare. Okay, today they are also act as a regulator, facilitator. The number of functions they are doing, functions have increased. So they need management, proper management to manage things effectively and ensure productivity and efficiency in the organization. This is one aspect. He says that is to why management is more needed in government sector. That is, and second he talks about see many people from the private sector are joining public organization. So yes, many CEOs are also joining. See, in India also lateral entry. What is lateral entry? This only that CEOs of private sector or the top position executives are joining public sector. The SEBI chief also lateral entry only. Also government want to promote lateral entry. This is what he talks about because they bring expertise, management expertise. So, management expertise. So basically this is what then generic management. Here the management, the expertise they are building in, bringing in the government organization. Okay. So this is then further he says. Then he further says he says hope you remember the classical principles like hierarchy, unity of command. See, these were the classical principles and also part of this generic principles or the principles which are universal according to Fayol and other classical thinkers. See, many other thinkers who came after this, they all started attacking this hierarchy and unity of command, be it Simon or the behavioral theorists, other behavioral theories or participative theories. What Drucker says on this, those who say that hierarchy is done and dusted is absolute nonsense. This is hierarchy is those who are saying hierarchy is no longer needed. He's saying it's absolute nonsense. hierarchy is even relevant today. And unity of command, so in a way he justifies the classical principles even relevant, which are even relevant today. But he further adds that along with this there should be accountability also, there should be transparency, there should be accountability and transparency also. So in a way he add a new, along with the principles, so there should be all this ethical aspects also. That is more or less must be talking about good governance, which today we equate this with good governance. Okay. Just be clear that good governance is not given by him; it is given by the World Bank. Okay. So he takes this all should be also there along with hierarchy, unity of command, which is even relevant in today's organization. He further says, with regards to principles, he says, principles should not tell us what to do, rather principles should tell us what not to do. So this is what he talks about. So he says principles should not tell us what to do. That is, he in a way says what should not be done in the government organization, that principles should tell. So in a way he also advocates classical theories. He advocates everything. First he adopts a humanist approach. Now he also justifies humanist approach, plus now he also justifies the classical thinkers also. Okay. So this is his views, okay, on generic management. So largely this is what he talks about, generic management. Okay. Hope things are clear till now. Generic management, generic in the sense he talks about this, there is no difference between public and private organizations. Public and private organizations same, 90% of the organization is same, or 10% is only the difference. Difference lies in mission, strategy, structure, vocabulary. So here also you can see the Indian government, etc. Largely they are 90% is same to every organization. They perform similar functions, and this 10% is the difference. Then he also later talks about justifies principles, etc. So this is these are these views on generic management. So let's take the next dimension of his contribution. So second, he talks about, he identifies the problems in government. What are the problems in government? He studied the US administration there in detail. So his problems were largely in terms of what he found in the US government. But since it is generic management, so these problems will be there in all the countries also. Okay, all the countries or all different organizations as well. So first he says that organizations, many government organizations are fat, flabby, expensive, and unproductive. He says this, government organizations are fat, you understand, fat, flabby, expensive, and unproductive. Second, he says the administration or the bureaucrats becomes end in itself. That is, they become rather than being an instrument, they become a terminal value. Okay. So this is what he talks about, that government is fat, flabby, expensive, and profitable. Next he says Next he says there is a divorce between policy formulation and policy implementation. Totally clueless. What is policy implementers? Don't know what is the intent of the policy formulators. So there is a divorce between policy formulation and policy implementation. So we'll break down each one of these. So government are fat. So fat is not the sense of physical fatness he's talking about. He says the government employs too many people. It becomes very difficult to get work done. Even ARC2 has observed that government is the highest employer provider in the country. So it's a very fat organization. Fat organization, they do nothing. Why you need so many people in this organization? When 5 people can do work, why you need 15 people? A fat organization. It is expensive. So much of money is spent on this training, recruitment, training, then the salary, pension. So the current government is also trying to reduce this expenditure. First they brought new pension scheme. Then after that they switched back to that universal pension scheme. So that they tried to reduce the expensiveness, but in the end they have to switch back to this. And it is very unproductive. Yes, in India also the bureaucracy is considered as the most unproductive bureaucracy. Many think tanks consider dealing with Indian bureaucracy an absolute nightmare. Nightmarish. Indian bureaucracy is a very nightmarish. Administration becomes ended in itself. Yes, this famous statement that following rules only becomes the main motive rather than what should be the outcome. This, and there is a divorce between policy formulation and policy implementation. Yes, policy formulation formulators do not take into consider ground reality, and policy implementers don't understand the intent. See, in India also demonetization, formulation, yes, many lofty objectives, but implementation was totally not effective. Objectives were not achieved. So we also know around 99% of all the cash came back. Even the 2000 rupee the note was demonetized, still all the cash came back. So what was the objectives were achieved? Also policy implementers, also in formulation also, they should they are many times not consulted the stakeholders, like the 3 farm laws were rolled back. Also legislations were not able to clear in this last session of the parliament. The 3 legislation were unable to, digital broadcast bill, etc. Okay, so he says there is a divorce. So these all 3 problems exist in the government. So he further says he broadly classifies, he further expands these problems that there exist 6 sins in government. 6 sins in government. See, 6 sins in the government. This similar to what Gandhi's 7 deadly sins. He says there are 6 sins in government. The first sin he identifies as, so first sin is lofty objectives. Lofty objectives. We'll break down each of these. First we'll jot down each of these sins. Second is, fat is beautiful. Fat is beautiful. Beautiful, okay. Third is attempting to do several things without prioritizing them. Attempting to do several things without prioritizing them, without priority. Okay, the fourth sin, dogmatism. Dogmatism in the government. Dogmatism. Fifth, dogmatism in the government. Fifth is failure to learn from mistakes. From mistakes or experiences. The sixth is believing in immortality, immortality of schemes, policies, believing in immortality. So I'll explain this, don't worry. These are the broadly 6 sins what he talks about are committed in the government organization. So lofty objectives, fat is beautiful, attempting to do several things without prioritizing them, dogmatism, failure to learn from experiences, and immortality. So lofty objectives, many times government organization has very lofty objectives, very big objectives, big. So see, now the current government also has an objective of Vikasit Bharat, Vikasit Bharat by 2047. Now, very big objective, lofty objective. He says that these objectives should be broken down into smaller goals and smaller objectives, and they should be measured rather than having this lofty objective. So has the government broken down this lofty objective of Vikasit Bharat? Has the performance indicators been set up to measure performance? Has every state government given these objectives? Has every district given objectives? How we will have Vikasit Bharat by 2047? This is the sin the government keeps on committing. So also we can see past experiences also, demonetization. Again, very lofty objective, ending black money, stopping terrorism, terror funding, counterfeit notes. What happened to this? Lofty objectives were there, but smaller sub goals were not identified. So even today, all these problems exist. Terrorism, yes, in J&K, terror attacks are happening. Pulwama, Balakot, all happened after demonetization, and recent attacks in Jammu Kashmir, black money, etc. This all still exists. So problem is lofty objectives. Next he talks of fat is beautiful. Yes, fat, that only big organizations, having organizations with excessive manpower. No use of so much manpower. Why you need so much people in the organization? See, Agniveer also, this is what government wants to get rid of this. Fat is beautiful, so Agniveer scheme. Few people, contract based appointment. See, yes, because yes, but one other side is also there. We have a very volatile neighborhood. But when was the last time we fought war? It was long back. So government may justify Agniveer for this, getting rid of fat is beautiful. Okay, so now third, this problem he identifies sin in the government is doing several things without prioritizing them. Now government want to bring about development, so development of Vikasit Bharat. So what are priorities? Which sector should be priorities? Whether it should be economy, in economy, which sector? Agriculture, service sector, manufacturing. Priorities should be identified. So there is no priority chaos. This is all. But see budget, this year's budget. The budget has set priorities. Priority 1, priority 2, this budget document, they have some priorities. So maybe they have learning from Peter Drucker only. You can here connect with paper 2 also. Fourth is dogmatism. So dogmatism means largely you take, having a bureaucratic attitude. That is being stubborn, not change resistant. This is dogmatism. Yes, dogmatism exists in bureaucracy. Indian bureaucracy is known for dogmatism, having very stubborn attitude. They are totally emotionless. They will think they are the king. Elite orientation, dogmatism. Dogmatism hinders innovation. And without innovation, we know no organization can survive for long. Okay, dogmatism. Now, next sin is committed failure to learn from past experiences or past mistakes. See here, demonetization had a lofty objective, this again lofty objective. If these objectives are broken down, has the performance indicators been identified? How the performance will be measured? So there is failure to learn from experiences. Believing in immortality. You understand immortality? That will never die. So many schemes and policies continue forever. So every scheme should have an expiry date. Okay, the scheme should have an expiry date. So mortality should not be there. There should be mortality. Immortality should not. Every schemes, policies or government organization should have an expiry. Okay, so scheme should have an expiry. So now say Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Now government is claiming India is ODF free. So till when then Swachh Bharat Abhiyan should be continued? Now if India is ODF free, why you want to continue? Is there an expiry date for this scheme? Isn't this committing a sin according to Peter Drucker? Or if you consider one more scheme, see Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao Yojana. So if the child sex ratio reaches equality between the girl child and the male child, girl child or boy child, see, and then why you want to continue this once it reaches this? So is there an expiry date for this? Will this continue forever? So this he says that this immortality of programs is sure a sin committed in an organization. Okay. So also if we see that our organization, government organization, our structure is a resultant of a colonial legacy. That is portfolio system 1861, Charter Act of 1861. So even ARC2 had recommended to abandon the structure and adopt a new structure. So see immortality of the structure also. Does this such a old structure still useful? That ministries, departments, hierarchy, organization, immortality, is this immortality of this organization? So no use. So that's why this should be abandoned. Even ARC2 said this should be abandoned. So these are the 6 sins committed in a government organization. Lofty objectives, fat is beautiful, attempting to do several things without prioritizing, dogmatism, failure to learn from experiences, immortality of schemes, organization, etc. So because of this 6 sins, the government organizations are not productive. And there will be a total failure according to him. So he further says, just a moment. He further says, now what should one do now to have make a government organization functioning properly, functioning effectively? What should be done? Now yes, 6 sins should be avoided. But what he says, the 6 sins avoidance would not necessarily mean that efficient functioning of the organization. But this is a prerequisite. But this is the prerequisite. This avoidance will not result in efficient functioning or management expertise here, like the efficiency in the organization. But these are prerequisite. Avoidance is prerequisite. What he recommends now, so many problems he has identified. So he should also give some solutions. Yes, he gives some solutions also. So here he talks about restructuring the government. That is, he provides the solutions. So like one solution we discussed, that avoiding the 7 sins will not result in this, but in efficiency and higher productivity, but it is a prerequisite. So he provides a solution also. Yes, solution is the famous solution every thinker, every concept gives. decentralization, and debureaucratization. This is the solution he has identified. Decentralization, what he talks about, yes, government should do only essential functions, and the rest functions should be decentralized or delegated. What he further says, see, ARC2 also talks about this only, decentralization. Okay, so government functions should be only essential functions, the rest should be decentralized. What he says government should only formulate broader policies, and who will implement them? He says implementation should be done by NGOs. Okay, this is what he says. And also in decentralization, he further says for policies should be formulated by NGOs, and in decentralization he says the many functions should be contracted out. Government should not even execute those or formulate policies for those, such as he talks about transportation etc. should be contracted out. Even collection of garbage collections, everything should be contracted out. I guess this is already contracted out in many of the metro cities in our country. Transportation largely, I guess it's still government, but yes, our government is also privatizing railways. So here application of Drucker, HPSC etc. privatization of railways is happening. So decentralization. Now next he talks about there should be debureaucratization. Debureaucratization. Debureaucratization should be there. So what he talks about? He talks about the CEOs and executives use of private organization should work in public organizations. Talks about this debureaucratization, and also yes, like you discuss is decentralization. The policy implementation should be done by NGOs. Policy implementation should be done by NGOs. Okay. So this is what is he talks about debureaucratization and decentralization. Now next he talks about this. First is debureaucratization and decentralization. Next solution he gives, there should be benchmarking. There should be benchmarking. So benchmarking, you understand that every objectives, goals should be benchmarked. The goals should be benchmarked. That is, you have to identify what should be the benchmark of achieving these goals. There should be performance indicators, performance measurement, and every performance of the people working in the organization should be evaluated with respect to this benchmarks. Evaluation should be done. So those who meet the benchmark or those who are not able to meet the benchmark, they should be disincentivized. That is, this is also the third solution he provides. There should be disincentivization. Wait, I'll write again. There should be disincentivization. There should be disincentivization, that is, there should be punishment for not reaching the goal. Punishment can be in the form of reduction of salary, can be in the form of demotion, even retirement. Okay, so see, disincentive, even the government of India adopts this, the the policy of perform or perish. Perish is this only, disincentivize, perform or perish. Yes, government has compulsorily retired many bureaucrats who are not performing well. So disincentivization he talks about as a solution. That should be the solution he provides. Okay, so this is the broad solution what he talks about in the government, what should be the solutions. Okay, so next, okay, broadly, okay, we'll revise again. See, solution, he talks about debureaucratization and decentralization. He talks about restructuring government, so there should be debureaucratization, decentralization. So debureaucratization, he talks about executive chief CEOs, private sector should be joined public organization, and decentralization, yes, government should do essential functions and rest should be delegated. Formulating border policies of and implementation by NGOs, and this contracting out also. Next should be benchmarking of services. Benchmarking, you should be able to meet the benchmarks, otherwise, oh god, what happened here? So yes, there should be benchmarking of services, and you should be able to meet those benchmarks, otherwise you will be disincentivized. There should be punishment, salary reduction, then demotion, etc., or you can be even removed from the organization. The perform or perish adopted by the current government is more similar to this only. Okay, so next let's discuss now management by objectives. He talks about management by one technique of management by objectives. So management by objectives, okay. See, this has already come in the UPSC management by objectives. So let's discuss what is management by objectives. See, management by objectives first. So I'll tell you first in brief, then I'll explain. Okay. So first there should be common goal. Common goal should be there. Okay, and there should be participation. Participation in framing of this common goal by all the managers. Okay. Thirdly, what he then even the lower level managers should formulate objectives for their own unit. Objectives for their unit. Their own unit. Okay, and yes, when the lower level managers formulate objectives for their own unit, they should get it approved from the higher managers. Okay, they should approve from higher managers. Approval they should take. Fourthly, so this is basically what there should be participation, etc. Lower managers should formulate objectives for their unit, and they should work as a team. There should be teamwork. There should be cohesion. there should be teamwork, cohesion, and once there is a teamwork and cohesion, so there will be everyone will be self-directed, there will be self-control. Okay. So basically this, he talks about this goals and objectives should become the inherent function, it should become the function of the organization. Okay. So understand this in brief, I'll explain in detail. So there should management by objectives, there should be a common goal, participation by all the managers in framing of the goal and objectives. Lower managers objectives or lower managers should formulate their objectives for their own unit. There should be a teamwork and cohesion in the entire organization. This will result in self-directed and self-controlled behavior by these the people in the organization towards achieving the goals. Okay, and this becomes the function of the achieving this common goal, become the function of the entire organization. See, for instance, if we break it down, suppose for instance if we break it down, now suppose if we consider the framework of the entire Indian administration, suppose this is cabinet secretary, then there are many chief secretaries of various state, then chief secretaries, there are again various secretaries of various departments in the state, secretary, then there are also, yes, divisional commission, etc. But for a more simplistic sense, we will consider DC as the lower level managers, and this is the highest manager. Okay, cabinet secretary. So he will formulate broader goals. So when broader goals are formulated, all this immediate people should participate in broader these goals. And here also these goals have been formulated, they should participate, DC, etc. So once goals are formulated, this becomes the main aim of the organization is to achieve this goal. Okay. So once goals have been formulated, now this top, he further says this top level managers should motivate the lower managers to formulate goals for the unit or objectives for the unit. See, suppose DC, now DC should formulate the objectives for that particular district, but the objectives should be in consonance with the broader goal. Okay, and once he's formulated the goals and objectives for the for his unit, that is the district, he should get approval from the higher authorities. That is approved. Then once approved, then this will become this unit's goal, and these goals will be integrated with the goal of this entire managerial setup. Okay, once goals are, then this will, you see, now see, everyone has participated in the formulation of goals, so there will be internal motivation of people will automatically get motivated because there is participation in formulation of all these goals. It's like it's their own baby, now they have to make their baby grow. So this is all what it talks about, and so because of this they will get self-directed, self-direction, and there will be self-control also. No need for external control. Okay, so this is largely what is management by objectives, and see, it is, yes, it is similar to other things already known in public administration, like the interactive influence system, was given by who? It was given by Likert. Okay, and So transactional influence given by McGregor. It is similar to this only. This is what they talk about. So this is largely what is management by objectives: participation, motivation, self-direction, self-control, goals for the unit which are then approved by the higher level managers. Okay. So yes, see, we'll discuss the criticism also, MBOs, if management by objectives in brief here only. Management by objectives. Now this happens. Now what are the criticisms here? See, first is that some thinkers say this management by objectives does not give freedom to lower managers. Freedom to lower managers. This management by objectives does not give freedom to lower managers. Yes, see, we have already discussed the lower managers can formulate the objectives for their unit, but they need to get approval from the top managers. So they are also prone to manipulation by top managers. So what will they approve? So, or they will just keep on disapproving all the initiatives taken by lower managers. Okay, so this is one criticism. Also, he talks about disincentivization, etc. But what about rewards? Doesn't talk about any rewards. If objectives are achieved, should the managers should be rewarded? Should the lower managers should be rewarded? This is he doesn't talk about. So he's more like of what? Is more of a, yes, what you can say, a cow sociologist. Cow sociologist. You remember this term, cow sociologist. One of the important criticisms of Mayo, cow sociologist. That is, you just get happy, remain motivated by achieving objectives, but what you get in return? You get incentives, or you get a rise in your salary, etc. So he doesn't talk about any rewards. This is also one of the criticisms. And thirdly, they say that there is no theoretical foundation. Theoretical foundation is missing. What is the theoretical foundation of this? Does he give any theory? Just give this concept of management by objectives and say this will help in bringing productivity, efficiency. The management organization which is suffering from loss of productivity and non-performance, they should adopt this. But is there any theoretical underpinning to this? There is no theoretical underpinning. So this is largely this criticisms of MBOs. Okay, see, this is already has come in UPSC, management by objectives in public administration. So it may also come again. And also you can refer in techniques also, like techniques of administration, chapter 11, as said earlier. Okay, so this is what is largely management by objectives. So okay, now we'll move to the next principle, next concept of his, which has been discussed. So knowledge based organization. Okay. So knowledge based organizations, see what he is saying, that tomorrow's organizations will be all knowledge based organizations, people who having information will be people with information will be required in the organization. And the efficiency and productivity of these people of the organization will depend on how many people, how effective people are there with information. So largely he talks about skill based people, that is skill oriented people. That is skill in the sense he interprets in terms of information, not those skills of production, etc. Skill oriented people or specialist. People will be required in the organization who will bring organizational productivity and innovation in the organization. Okay, so there will be requirement of specialist. Further, what he talks about, further he says, see, to perform to performing already known tasks result in productivity. And performing an unknown task will result in what? It will result in innovation and creativity. Okay. Performing an unknown task will result in innovation and creativity. Performing an unknown task will result in innovation and creativity. And this is what is required in today's organization, especially in the light of AI, etc., where so much of rapid changes are happening. This is what many tasks are unknown. So this can be performed by specialists, and this will bring innovation and creativity. Yes, I forgot to tell. See what he talks about. See, lot of now. See, in the light of AI, etc., lot of information, data is coming. Okay. A lot of data is coming. See, lot of data gathering, etc., is happening. Lot of data, etc., is coming today. Data is coming. Lot of data. See, Aadhaar is also connecting lot of data. From data, you need to derive information. You need information. Now, from data information, to derive, you should have specialists to understand the data. And these specialists are nothing but, who are these specialists? These are knowledge based workers, information specialist, and this is knowledge based worker. And the organization should be full of this knowledge based workers for its survival and for increasing productivity and efficiency of that organization. So this is because we need to perform many unknown tasks which will require creativity and innovation. So that's why he talks about this knowledge based organization. He further identified the 6 factors that will define the productivity of a knowledge based organization. So we identified 6 factors. Six factors for productivity. Of a knowledge based worker. Okay, 6 factors he talks about that will decide the productivity of a knowledge based worker. First, he talks about that the worker should have a knowledge about the task. There should be knowledge about the task. Okay. Second, he talks about there should be a responsibility. See, this is the 6 factors of productivity, not the 6 sins. Okay. There should be responsibility. Responsibility should be there. There should also be autonomy. Okay. Next, fourth, he talks about there should be continuous innovation. Now, fifthly, there should be continuous learning. Sixth, there should be quality of products, quality of output, quality of output. So this six principles should be there. So factors should be followed by a knowledge-based worker or an organization to get maximum out of a knowledge-based worker. So there should be knowledge about the task, there should be responsibility, autonomy should be given, autonomy with responsibility, continuous innovation, there will be continuous learning, and quality of the output. Output should be of quality. This is what is he talks about knowledge-based organizations. Okay. See, briefly we'll talk about the seven principles which the CEO of any organization should be followed. Just see, may be useful. You can refer that what principles the leader or cabinet secretariat or any, but this 7 principles of CEO is very much relevant in a private sector or etc. But at least just we'll talk we'll touch upon it briefly. 7 principles. Just a moment. So 7 principles. Should be followed by the CEO. The CEO should follow these 7 principles. So first is he should be she should be mission driven. Second is first should be is mission driven, so be effective. Effective, not efficient. Every thinker talks about efficiency, talks about effectiveness, not efficient. Effective means more of outcome orientation should be there. Okay. So not efficient means you should not be just output oriented. Okay. Benefit should not necessarily be more than cost. There should be effective also. Yes, very much relevant because outcomes is what matters in government. Outcome, but how will measure outcome? Outcome in government takes a lot of time to come. The third principle what the CEO should follow is should be focused on opportunities, not on problems. So opportunities, please focus not on problems. Focus on opportunities, not the problem. Whatever opportunities you are getting, don't just keep cribbing about the problems and everything. You focus on the opportunities, not on the problem. You focus on opportunities, not the problem. Next, you take fourth one. Power of plan of abandonment. So that is there should be power to plan for abandonment. Abandonment. So there should be power to plan for abandonment. It means like you should have a plan that attaches expiry date to every this also. Okay. Like we discussed how there should not be immortality of, there should be mortality of various schemes also. Okay, next we'll talk about, next the fifth he talks about to grow fast, identify the best people. To grow fast, identify the best people for the best positions. Go fast, identify the best people for the best person. That is, see, tailor in approach, right person at the right place. Go fast, identify the best people at the best position. So right person at right place. This is what Taylor was also talking about. So next, sixth he talks about focus on customer. Focus on customer. Okay, focus on customer. And seventh, lastly, it talks about what gets measured, gets managed. See, this is very important principle. Many times they can even frame a question. I guess they are framed also. Performance measurement, something. What gets measured, gets managed. Gets managed, what gets measured, this is the what are the 7 principles the CEO should follow. See, if remember some principles, it will be helpful, especially this one. Okay, see, this is what is largely the contributions of Peter Drucker, what he says. Now we will discuss his relevance in brief. I will discuss the criticisms first, then we will discuss his relevance. Okay. So, criticisms. So, criticisms. Now, what can be criticisms? See, the criticisms of MBO, management based objectives, we already discussed. Now, we'll discuss some larger criticisms. So, Mr. Coates, Joseph Coates. This is okay. Joseph Coates says, what he says? He says that Peter Drucker's work is like of a journalist. What he has done, he has just document good practices happening in various organization and various government setting, and he just documented that. His work is of a journalist. Even this criticism was agreed by who? Journalist. Okay, this criticism, that he is more of a documenting person. He documents good practices and provides you in a holistic way. He is more of a journalist. Now next he further says, this view was agreed by who? Remember Warren Bennis? Bennis agreed with this view, and Bennis was a student of Drucker, and yes, he also agrees that he is just a journalist. He says the most important contribution of Peter Drucker is that of journalist. He also agrees with this view. Okay, now a second criticism. See what he talks about, that generic management. Okay. Generic management, but see, he fails to understand and take into consider the cultural aspects. See, management may not be totally similar. Different things work differently, which has already been discussed, and how the Riggs also identified how that bureaucracy fails in other, Brazilian model failed in other countries. So he fails to take the consideration of cultural. So he in the genetic management. Okay. So next criticism. The generic management happened in this Warren Bennis, and largely then yes, this management by objectives criticisms you write, whatever those we have discussed, and those criticisms. So this were largely the criticisms of Peter Drucker, and also yes, he projects bureaucracy and government in very negative light, always refers them in a very negative sense. But we all know there has been some excellence by bureaucracy also. Excellent work has also been done. There he doesn't recognize any excellence by bureaucracy. Many examples in India also. Say the work of Darius Ahmad in Pelambaru as a collector there, where he successfully fought malnutrition, etc. there. And next also then Prashant Nair in Kozhikode, Operation Suleimani, or also the COVID work by the work by bureaucracy during COVID-19. Many excellent work they have done. Many even laid down their life. Many people died. Many bureaucrats died also while performing duty. So this excellency doesn't recognize. Also the success of Green Revolution, Green Revolution or the White Revolution. It's all due to the bureaucracy. It's considered as a bureaucratic success. This is excellency doesn't recognize. Just talks negative about bureaucracy and government. So not necessarily. Okay. So this is largely the criticisms of Peter Drucker. So now let's discuss some of his relevance. Now, yes, relevance. Relevance of Peter Drucker. Yes, all these concepts are very much relevant even today. Management by objectives, knowledge-based organization. See, even today, today or future organizations are totally management organizations. Here you can also connect the generalist versus specialist debate. See, here he talks about generalists. There should be more room for specialists in the bureaucracy in the government organization. See, in the Government of India is also promoting domain expertise of various committees and commissions have also recommended the promotion of domain experts in bureaucracy. This is what he talks about knowledge-based organization. And also his views on leadership, etc. and generic management are largely very much relevant even today. So there's a relevance this way you write, and also this is more of a practice and in theory aspects. So theory. In theory also is very much relevant to the field of public administration, as he bridged the gap between academics and business. Bridge the gap between academics and business, like and academics and practitioners also. Now, how we bridge the gap? See, we discuss where we're discussing the background works of Peter Drucker. There, he not only was a consultant or a theorist in writing columns in various magazines, but also he was a practitioner also. He worked in various government organizations, private organizations like Coca-Cola, IBM, government organization, government of USA, Canada and Japanese also. So he was a practitioner also, not like other thinkers. See, MP Follett was not a practitioner. She was just a theorist. So he was successful in bridging this gap between between academics and practitioners also. Now lastly, he also escorted organization theory. You know organization theory, the theories of organization, which are also called as the theories in public administration. He escorted theories of organization theories from the ivory tower to what? Ivory tower to work line. He escorted the theories from ivory tower to work line. That is, he had a practical experience also. Largely, ivory tower means largely the theorists were sitting in the universities and given theories without any experience. Yes, some classical theorists were having experience also, like the scientific management theorist Taylor. Taylor also himself experimented in various organizations, but after those thinkers, largely they were all academicians. Okay, so this is his contribution in theory aspects and his relevance today. So yes, his contribution has been very phenomenal in public administration. See, in the end, I'll give you one question also. You write it and send it to me. See, largely Peter Drucker can come, and it has come in the past, all little aspects they have asked, but if it comes directly, then you should write, and he is a very relevant thinker also. Okay, so we have discussed, I have told you in the beginning of the lecture itself, why why Peter Drucker may come and how they are setting up the question papers. So it becomes more relevant in that sense. Okay. Okay, and also just one caveat again. See, these are highly complex, not complex, but this for this to understand, you should have proper background information about background. You should have good foundation of public administration. You should know classical theories, etc. Then only you will be able to understand it holistically. So don't get scared if you are not able to connect terms. So first you focus on the basics. These are enrichment aspects of public administration. Okay, so I will give you one question. So you write it down and send it to me. Send it to my WhatsApp, or you can Telegram me. So you can write your question and send it on this number. It's okay, send your answers on this number. I will evaluate and send you back. Okay, 8850452151. So here is the question for you. We'll discuss Peter Drucker. So question on Peter Drucker. So Drucker's position on government. Government is highly critical . So yes, this is the question and discuss. I repeat the question, don't worry, 15 marks. Okay. So Drucker's position on government is highly critical but unsubstantiated or anecdotal. It might be considered anti-statist and bureaucratic bashing. Discuss. So write this question and send it to me. I'll evaluate, but do send it in a PDF format only. Okay, don't send it image format. So this is it then. Hope this lecture was helpful for you. This session was helpful for you and enlightening enlightening for you. So we'll continue with the series. We'll upload the next video also on some of these kind of topics. So just hope this helps then. Hope this helps in your quest for knowledge and your improvement of marks in public administration. Happy learning then. Okay then.